second-ranked Penn State is also struggling, 14-10 over Cincinnati at halftime. Again, highlights for you a little bit later. And North Carolina scored with 10 seconds remaining.
Of either number 1 ranked Penn State, certain to be ranked number 1 in both polls, against Notre Dame at State College, Pennsylvania, also called University Park, or number 14 ranked Auburn against Georgia if you are in the South. Also, part 2 here on College Football Today of our continuing series on the problems of internet. Now, while many of our stations break away for local news, we'll continue from here with halftime activity. The Clemson Tigers went to Chapel Hill, North Carolina today with 4 straight wins and continuing bowl hopes. But in the final outcome, North Carolina got one of the biggest wins in Dick Crum's tenure in Chapel Hill, a 21-20 victory. William Humes had the first score for the Tar Heels, a 36-yard touchdown run that put North Carolina on top 7-0. But from that point, Doug Flutie, Clemson began to take over the game on the ground, and the Tigers, as you know from your experience, are one of the most physical teams in college football.
They'll take it to you, they pound on you and wear you down, and here's an instance where they just wide open running the hole. Stick it in the end zone, no problem.
Kenny Flowers with an 11-yard touchdown run. That made it 10-7 Clemson in the third quarter. Now you're going to see Driver, the running back, throwing a 57-yard touchdown pass to Terrence Rulehock, and at that point, Clemson was on top 17-7. But North Carolina went with freshman quarterback John Hall all the way, and from this point, he engineered the Tar Heel comeback. Here's the winning touchdown, a Humes touchdown run from 1 yard out, and with less than 15 seconds to go in the game. That plus the extra point gave the Tar Heels a 21-20 victory. Players who have not always been felt to be completely behind Dick Crum wound up carrying him off the field. Doug Flutie, always you take a gamble when you go with a freshman quarterback, as North Carolina did, over an established starter like Kevin Anthony. It happened to you once a few years ago.
It did, and it's a gutsy move by Coach Dick Crum. It's tough to do. A lot of times it can cause some dissension in the players. A situation where you have an upperclassman who's been the established quarterback and you go with a freshman. Everyone's thinking all the hot shots coming in. He doesn't really deserve the shot. And today, Jonathan Hall proved that he deserved the opportunity, and he put him one of the biggest wins in...
They takes on Notre Dame, or in one of the South's premier rivalries, Bo Jackson leads Auburn against Georgia. Coverage begins with College Football Today next Saturday.
27-27. Cornell got its 500th win, 20-14.
Make no rush with that lordship.
Second down.
Gelbaugh has to hurry. Ground was... in center. Gelbaugh is back, comes to the left side, complete. And Holder, Eric Holder, number 81, Penn State, and the Nittany Lions went in for a big touchdown in a game that I believe Penn State won by 2 points. And of course, remember, Maryland had been picked number 1 by Sport Magazine. So I think there was probably a case of increased expectations, and a lot of fans have not forgotten that interception. 1st and 10 for Maryland, ball inside the 35, and here he is again, Coach. Pump fake, Wadler off to the right, and there's a bad pass, intercepted in the first half. 6, and Testaverde pulling out at the 35-yard line. He wanted Smith over the middle as he avoided the rush. Sent it right toward the big tight end. There was a defensive back right there. They went up in tandem, and Urban was in the right place at the right time. And now Maryland and Miami are tied at 13. We'll return after this commercial break. Porter,
a little misdirection. Fake to Henry coming back the other way, and all I could see was Davis puts a great fake on Robinson, number 21. Busted coverage, a glaring mistake. One thing you don't do is bust the commercial, bust the play on a deep pass, but they did.
CBS Sports presents the Prudential College Football Report, sponsored by the Prudential, offering a full range of insurance and financial services. The Prudential, the Rock. It's strong, it's on the move, it's bigger than life.
Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome back to the College Football Report on CBS. Jim Nantz along with Pat Haden. We've got a tie ball game here at halftime, and really it's been rather sloppy for Miami, but they've got a tie with Maryland, so they got to be pretty pleased.
4 turnovers are still in the game. It shows you the quality of the team that Miami has, and you have to be more and more impressed with Vinny Testaverde. Even though things went wrong, he came up with a fluke touchdown, somehow he finds a way to get his team in the end zone.
Yeah, he's a good one, and he's only a junior. Let's check out the top 10, the Associated Press top 10 that will have a facelift come Monday, because number 1, Florida had their unbeaten string stopped at 18. Georgia won it 24-3. Bulldogs did it with the big play. Keith Henderson takes the inside handoff, goes to the outside, 32-yard touchdown. Georgia was in front 14-0. They also had 2 other touchdowns over 75 yards, and Georgia wins it 24-3. Second-ranked Penn State, same old story for the Nittany Lions. They come from behind to take Cincinnati today. John Schaefer, a little bit of a rough start here for the Penn State quarterback. Intercepted by Andre Jackson. He rambles 27 yards for the touchdown. Cincinnati led 10-7. However, Schaefer made up for it. Time running out in the first half. Watch him bowl his way across the goal line. And that made it 14-10 at the half for Penn State, and they went on to win in a cinch in the second half, 31-10 over Cincinnati. Nebraska, last week on the Haden Nantz poll, we told you Nebraska was going to win the national championship. Looking good today against Iowa State, 49-0. Ohio State and Northwestern, final 35-17. Jim Carsato's 3 touchdown passes for the Buckeyes. Air Force and Army. Air Force will win the Commander-in-Chief Trophy 38-7 over Army. Air Force keeping their dream alive of a possible national championship. They are still unbeaten. 6th-ranked Iowa and Illinois. You talk about a one-sided game. Here it is. Jack Trudeau, first pass of the afternoon. Really kind of a sour note for the Illini. This told it all. He was picked off. First interception in 215 attempts. He had that record streak going. That converted into an Iowa touchdown. Another big day for Chuck Long. He set a Big Ten season mark, 25 touchdown passes. And here's why. Pinpoint pass to Robert Smith. 59-0 was 49-0 at halftime, and Iowa is annihilating Illinois in the 4th quarter. Number 7, Oklahoma, another impressive win for the Sooners, 51-6. Freshman quarterback Jameel Holloway, he is really impressive. Here he scampers for the touchdown, 35 yards, rush for over 100 yards, pass for over 100 yards, and the Sooners have won in a breeze 3 consecutive weeks, getting tuned up for Nebraska on the 23rd. 9th-ranked Michigan, 3rd shutout of the season as they beat Purdue. Jim Everett held under 100 yards passing. And 10th-ranked Oklahoma State over Kansas State, 35-3. Thurman Thomas already over 200 yards, 4 touchdowns for the Cowboys.
Down 44-0 win over Utah State. Robbie Bosco had to come out of that game, though, with a pinched nerve in his shoulder. Tennessee, which has a shot at the SEC crown, beats Memphis State 17-7. And we have some other active games in progress. One in the Big 8, Colorado over Kansas, 14-3. That game is in a final. Good season for the Buffaloes. SMU over Rice, 24-7 in the 3rd quarter. Texas Tech, 49-7 over TCU. Texas Tech quarterback Bill Tolliver threw 5 touchdown passes in that one. Washington, which can control its own destiny in the Pac-10 and win the Rose Bowl by doing so, not doing that today. However, they trail at halftime 20-0. USC and California. California on top there in a surprise in the 2nd quarter, 7-3. And a little bit later on tonight, 2 teams that are fighting out for the Rose Bowl as well. UCLA.
500 in their history as they routed Rutgers. Penn trailed Colgate by 17 early, but they came back to pull off a 27-27 tie in that one.
All right, Jim. In the South today, we had a team that was on a roll. Clemson had won 4 straight, but not today. They fall to North Carolina by 31-24. Louisville goes to 2-8 on the season. They get thrashed by Virginia Tech, 41-17.
As they're having their problems, there's a team in the Midwest that's red hot. Notre Dame, 4 wins in a row for the Irish. Some might remember back in '77 when the Irish won the national championship. They had 1 loss that year, and that was against Mississippi. Today, the first rematch with the Rebels. And the Irish had that sweet revenge. Here the ball is jarred loose, and Steve Lawrence picks it up in the air, races down the right sideline all the way down to the 2, setting up an Irish touchdown to have them in front 24-0. They never looked back as they won at 37-14 and up their record now to 5-3. Also in the Midwest, Michigan State over Indiana. A big day for Lorenzo White, the sophomore running back, 25 carries, 286 yards, and 3 touchdowns. Down to the Southwest, Texas and Houston. Texas takes Houston by 10 in that game. Some other finals. The 100th meeting between Amherst and Williams, and the Lord Jeffs won it by 15. In this game, The pass across the middle to John Tucci, 15-yard touchdown, and Amherst wins it 35-20 over Williams. And here's another final. You might remember we told you Villanova started back football for the first time since 1980, and this was the final game of the season for the Wildcats, and they won it 17-3. No, Raleigh Massimito was not pulling that magic on the sidelines for the Wildcats. It was football coach Andy Talley. They finished the year 5-0, so congratulations to Villanova football. When we come back,
under pressure, gets it off. LSU rushed only 3 at the back of 22. They bring Bell back toward the ball. Penalty flag, look out for that. Throw for Richardson, the ball is almost intercepted. Baylor hadn't lost any on both the first and second touchdowns. Second down and 20, Schuler dropped. Passes away, throws a knuckleball. Ball slid out of it. 3rd and 20, and the crowd is in it. Bell, too high. Game is in the balance right here. 1:59 to play. Bell, he's got it. Penalty flag is thrown. He's inside the 5-yard line at the 2, and let's see about the flag. It was thrown well downfield in the secondary. So the defensive team is throwing football. 1st and goal, Alabama at the LSU 2. It's 1st down and goal at the 2 with Jelks and Turner in the lineup, and only a minute and a half to play in the ball game. They give it to Jelks. He wants to throw it. He throws it for Shula. Touchdown! Can you believe that? Now they've got to decide. Go for 2? I think they will. Jelks has gone off the field in his joy. They may want him back. Alabama will spend its last timeout right here to talk about the play they want to use, and it seems abundantly clear they will go for 2. Well, that was a play that Jerry Faust called against Air Force, and it blew up on him. But it worked for Ray Perkins today. LSU was over-anxious, which is what you expect from a team. They pitch the ball on 2nd down and 1. Jelks is a great runner. Get your defense so bad, make the play. But Tiffin for the tie, and it's good.
All right, you've got excitement in Baton Rouge. Here's what's happening in War Memorial Stadium in Little Rock, Arkansas. Arkansas has just scored with about 11 minutes to go. Went for 2, did not convert the pass, so Baylor trying.
Now it's Cody Carlson, number 14, who is at the helm from the 20 on 1st down. Back to pass. And off the roll, completes it out at the 33-yard line to Matt Clark for a 1st down. His favorite target. Clark had 18 catches to lead the team coming into the game, and he's had a big day today, including an 85 for 133. He's on the bench for the moment. Ball at the 37, 1st and 10. Baylor has 1 timeout remaining. Quick flip to the sideline to Robert Williams, who had an early fumble that was costly, and this time he fumbles but out of bounds. 20-14. Hopefully he... 2nd down and 8. Carlson has room, and all of a sudden runs. 3rd down, 8. This is a vital play right here. They can't afford to give the ball up because they can't stop the clock even on defense but once. Only 1 timeout left for them. 3rd and 8. And movement has cost them 104 yards. And it's 3rd down and 13 with Jackie Ball in motion. Everybody into the pattern. Protection, and then he throws, and it's incomplete, knocked away by number 3. Just granted a major favor by the Arkansas defense because they can talk over what put. Everybody into the pattern again. The pass is complete to the 46-yard line to Matt Clark. 153 total yards and 1 touchdown. Clark is running with 123, 1st down from the 46-yard line. Going deeper. Carlson and Tom Mickey split the chores. 3 Three receivers is set to the right. And motion by McAdoo to the left. Going deep and picked off at the 18-yard line by Lasker. He's had a tremendous day, and that's the explanation. So has Arkansas, and they can basically run the clock out. Baylor can only stop it once. Thomas puts his knee down. Baylor has one timeout left. And they have not yet elected to use it. As you look at next week's game, check your local listings. Penn State #1 against Notre Dame, or Auburn against Georgia. Simply drop to his knee if he the clock by running with the ball, or prancing with it anyway. And the clock keeps running, and it can't be stopped. And there is Cody Carlson, the Baylor quarterback. Their only loss this season was to Georgia in a game they had a lot of opportunities to win. And they'll go home thinking the exact same thing today. They lost to Georgia by 3. They led in this game 14-0. They were really in the driver's seat in this game and in the conference chase, and now all of a sudden they're riding shotgun.
November is the cruelest month in college football. Today, Florida found out exactly how cruel. #1 in the AP poll going into their traditional stumbling block game against Georgia. History doesn't change much for the Gators. It was 90 degrees on the field. There was a record crowd in the Gator Bowl at 82,327, and Georgia showed Doug Flutie they're going to be hell for the next couple of years with these freshman running backs.
Tim Worley and this year Keith Henderson running for the 76-yard touchdown run. Looks like another Herschel Walker in his freshman year.
Yeah, he's as big as Herschel, and that got them started with a 7-0 lead in the first quarter. Second quarter, you're going to see Henderson again. I think this one is an even little bit more spectacular run, though it's only 32 yards.
He is with some cuts, and some strong running as he cuts through the middle, very quick through the hole, and then looking for the open field.
From that point, the Dogs controlled the ball on the ground. Henderson and Worley both over 100 yards. Cohen Bell passed for 408 yards, but Florida could only rush for 28 yards, and now the Gators cannot sit at home on probation and win the national title on New Year's Day. The nightmare of Major Bowl scouts. Major Bowl scouts root for Penn State to keep winning, and the Nittany Lions did it for them today, beating Cincinnati in Three Rivers Stadium. Homecoming for Penn State quarterback John Schaefer, who was a star at Moeller High School, and he got things started for the Nittany Lions.
Really good to pass to Bob Williams, but there he could have had the easy walk-in for the touchdown instead he elected to throw the football.
Now, at this point, Penn State got a little nervous. They gave up a field goal to Cincinnati, and then this play,
Andre Jackson picking it off, going 25 yards for the interception for a touchdown. Looked like reverse from last week.
and that made it 10-7 Cincinnati at that point. But then Schaefer got a 2-yard touchdown run here. From this point, Penn State did what they have done all season, Doug.
They take advantage of the turnovers, and they win the ball game. They get good field position, do the turnovers, and just wait until the other team makes the mistake.
B.J. Dozier wound up with more than 100 yards rushing in the football game. And on that touchdown run, it became 24-10. All in all, Dozier 19 carries for 105 yards. Penn State moves to 9-0 on the season. Kisner got to play in the second half. He scored that touchdown. Next week, the Nittany Lions are at home against Notre Dame. More to play without Paul Palmer, who was injured today, and Pittsburgh got a big win for Foge Fazio, 21-17. Gladman went over 1,000. In the country, we'll be seeing Notre Dame traveling to University Park, Pennsylvania, to take on #1 rated Penn State, likely now to be at a consensus #1. The rest of you will be seeing Auburn and Penn State. It could not fall at a more fortuitous time for college football.
It's November, and it's going to be a classic. It's interesting how Notre Dame and Penn State got together. Penn State was criticized in the late 60s and early 70s for its easy schedules. I think it was an unfair criticism. I thought Penn State played tough schedules. So Joe Paterno said, go out and get Notre Dame and Alabama. And they signed them up each for 10 years. And at last, we got a super game because this is the best of the first 5 meetings.
Indeed, the way the Irish are playing right now, he may look back at that decision with some chagrin. Both